Imagine this. You're a waitress at a bustling diner, working tirelessly day in and day out just to make ends meet. You serve countless customers, each with their own stories, but one day, everything changes. A man walks in, seemingly just another customer, but little do you know, he's Jeff Bezos, the billionaire founder of Amazon. What happens next is a tale of kindness, hope, and the unexpected ways life can turn around. Join us as we unravel this emotional roller coaster that reminds us all of the power of compassion and the incredible impact one person can have on another's life. Meet Josephine Clinton, a hardworking single mother living in a small town. Every day, she juggles her job as a waitress at the cozy diner while caring for her two young children, Emma and Lucas. Josephine has dreams, big dreams of a better life for her family, but life hasn't made it easy for her. She often wonders if she'll ever catch a break. Have you ever felt like that? Like you're putting in all the effort, but never quite getting ahead? You're not alone. Josephine's story is one that many can relate to, a story of struggle, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of hope. On a particularly busy afternoon, as the lunch rush filled the diner with chatter and clinking dishes, Josephine was hustling to keep up with the orders. The air was thick with the aroma of burgers sizzling on the grill and coffee brewing in the background. She moved swiftly from table to table, taking orders and delivering food with a smile, even though she was exhausted. With each passing minute, she felt the weight of her responsibilities bearing down on her. A single mother trying to provide for her children in a world that often seemed indifferent. As she navigated through the sea of customers, Josephine couldn't help but overhear snippets of conversations, stories about promotions at work, vacations planned for summer, and families gathering for special occasions. Each story felt like a reminder of what she was missing out on. She often dreamed of taking her kids to the beach or celebrating their birthdays in a way that made them feel special. But every time she thought about her dreams, reality came crashing back in, bills piled high and rent due next week. That day was particularly hectic. The diner buzzed with energy as people rushed in for their lunch breaks. As fate would have it, Jeff Bezos walked into the cozy diner that day, looking for a quick bite to eat before heading back to his meetings. The moment he entered, Josephine felt an unusual energy in the air. He wore a casual outfit, jeans, and a simple shirt, but there was something about his presence that made him stand out from the crowd. It was as if he carried an aura of possibility with him. Have you ever met someone famous without realizing it? How did it feel? Sometimes, those moments can be transformative without us even knowing it. Josephine approached his table with a warm smile, introducing herself and taking his order, a simple burger and fries. As she returned to the kitchen, she couldn't shake off the feeling that there was something special about this customer. Perhaps it was his genuine smile or the way he engaged with those around him. Little did she know that this encounter would change her life forever. While waiting for the food to cook, Josephine found herself glancing over at Jeff's table. He was chatting with another diner about technology and innovation, topics that seemed so far removed from her own life as a waitress. But what struck her most was how down-to-earth he seemed. Instead of being aloof or dismissive like some high-profile individuals might be, he took the time to engage with those around him. As she refilled his drink, Josephine found herself struck by his humility. They exchanged pleasantries, and she shared snippets about her life, her kids, her job at the diner, and her dreams of going back to school someday. To her surprise, Jeff listened intently, nodding along as if he truly cared about what she had to say. Can you remember a time when you had an unexpected connection with someone? How did it make you feel? Those moments can remind us that we are all human, sharing experiences and emotions that bind us together. After finishing his meal, Jeff asked for the check. As Josephine placed it on the table, he smiled warmly and scribbled something on a piece of paper before handing it back to her. At first glance, she thought it was just a thank you note or maybe a compliment about her service. But when she opened it, her heart dropped. The note contained not just a generous tip, but words that struck a chord deep within her heart. It read, "Your strength is inspiring. Keep pushing forward. Brighter days are ahead." Along with that was an envelope containing a life-changing amount of money, enough to pay off her bills for months and even set aside some savings for her children's future. In that moment, Josephine felt an overwhelming rush of emotions wash over her. joy, disbelief, gratitude, all swirling together in a whirlwind of feelings. Tears streamed down her face as she realized that someone truly saw her struggles and believed in her potential. It felt like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. For the first time in years, she could breathe a little easier. Have you ever felt seen in such a profound way? It's like the world suddenly makes sense again. In that brief encounter with Jeff Bezos, Josephine found hope where there had been despair. This act of kindness not only helped Josephine financially, but reignited her hope and dreams for the future. With the money from Jeff's generous tip, she began to envision a different path for herself. A path where she could go back to school and pursue a degree in nursing, something she had always wanted to do but never thought possible due to financial constraints. As days turned into weeks, Josephine started taking small steps toward her goals. She enrolled in online courses while continuing to work at the diner and care for her children. Each class she completed felt like a victory, a testament to her resilience and determination. She began to dream again, about providing better opportunities for Emma and Lucas, about breaking free from the cycle of struggle that had defined much of her adult life. What dreams have you put on hold? What would it take for you to chase them again? Sometimes all we need is a little encouragement from someone who believes in us. Inspired by Jeff's generosity, Josephine vowed to pay it forward. She started volunteering at local shelters and mentoring young women in her community who faced similar struggles. She organized food drives and fundraising events to help those less fortunate than herself. With every small act of kindness she performed, she felt a sense of fulfillment that money could never buy. Josephine understood firsthand how transformative kindness could be, and she wanted to share that experience with others. She often shared Jeff's story with those she helped, reminding them that even small gestures could change someone's life forever. If you're enjoying this story and want to hear more inspiring tales like Josephine's, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We have so much more coming your way. Together, we can spread positivity and inspire others to make a difference in their communities. Josephine's story is a powerful reminder that kindness can come from the most unexpected places and can have a ripple effect beyond what we can imagine. As she moved forward in life, balancing work, motherhood, and education, she carried Jeff's message with her: keep pushing forward. Brighter days are ahead. So, what will you do today to make someone's day better? Remember, every small act of kindness counts. And don't forget to subscribe and click that notification button so we can continue sharing these powerful stories together. Let's inspire each other and create a world where kindness reigns supreme. With newfound hope and determination, Josephine dove headfirst into her online nursing courses. Each lesson was a step toward a brighter future, not just for herself but for Emma and Lucas as well. She often found herself studying late into the night after her shifts at the diner, fueled by coffee and the dreams she had for her children. Those quiet hours became sacred, filled with the promise of change. Have you ever had a moment where you felt so driven that nothing could stand in your way? It's a powerful feeling, isn't it? For Josephine, every completed assignment brought her closer to her goal, a goal that once felt so far out of reach. As she balanced her studies with work and motherhood, Josephine faced challenges that tested her resolve. There were days when she felt overwhelmed, juggling the demands of her job while trying to help Emma with her homework and soothe Lucas during his tantrums. Some nights, exhaustion would creep in, making it hard to focus on her studies. One evening, after a particularly grueling shift at the diner, Josephine returned home to find Lucas crying in his crib. Emma sat nearby, looking worried. With tears in her eyes, Josephine scooped Lucas into her arms, whispering soothing words as she rocked him back to sleep. In that moment, she realized that even amidst the chaos, she was building a life filled with love and resilience. Emma watched her mother with admiration. "Mommy, you're so strong," she said softly. Those words struck a chord in Josephine's heart. It was a reminder that her struggles were not just hers alone. They were shaping the lives of her children too. As Josephine continued her journey, she found support in unexpected places. The community around the cozy diner began to notice her transformation. Regular customers who had seen her hustle for years started offering encouragement and assistance. Some brought in books for her studies. Others offered to babysit Lucas while she studied or worked late shifts. One day, Mrs. Jenkins, an elderly woman who frequented the diner, approached Josephine with a warm smile. "You remind me of my younger self," she said. "I see so much potential in you. If you ever need help with the kids or someone to talk to, I'm here." Isn't it incredible how community can lift us up? Sometimes all we need is a little encouragement from those around us to keep going. However, the road wasn't always smooth. Just when Josephine felt like she was gaining momentum in her studies, she faced a setback. One afternoon, while juggling a particularly busy lunch rush at the diner, she received a call from the school. Lucas had been sick and needed to be picked up immediately. Panic set in as she realized she couldn't afford to miss work. The diner depended on her, and every dollar counted. But as any mother would do, she prioritized her child's well-being over everything else. She rushed to the school, heart racing, only to find Lucas with a fever and looking up at her with big, sad eyes. Holding him close, Josephine felt a mix of worry and guilt wash over her. She wanted to be there for him while also providing for him. That night, as she sat beside his bed reading him stories until he fell asleep, she realized that being a mother meant navigating these tough choices, and that love was at the core of it all. As weeks turned into months, Josephine's hard work began to pay off. Her grades improved significantly, and she found herself more confident in her abilities. She even started participating in online discussions with classmates, sharing insights and learning from others. The more she engaged, the more she realized how much she loved learning, something she hadn't felt in years. One evening, after submitting a particularly challenging assignment, Josephine received an email notification that made her heart race. She had been awarded a scholarship based on her academic performance and dedication. With tears of joy streaming down her face, she gathered Emma and Lucas into her arms and shared the news. Have you ever experienced a moment of triumph that made all your hard work worth it? It's those moments that remind us we are capable of achieving our dreams. Inspired by Jeff Bezos' act of kindness that had set this journey in motion, Josephine decided to reach out to him through social media. She shared her story, how his generosity had impacted her life and reignited her dreams. She never expected a response, but hoped he would see how his small act had created ripples of change. To her surprise, days later, she received a message from him. Jeff expressed his admiration for her resilience and invited her to share more about her journey over coffee if she ever found herself in Seattle. She couldn't believe it. This opportunity felt surreal. Have you ever had a chance encounter turn into something incredible? Life has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. Months later, after completing several courses and making significant progress toward her degree, Josephine found herself sitting across from Jeff Bezos in a cozy cafe in Seattle. Her heart raced as they talked about everything from dreams to challenges faced along the way. Jeff listened intently as Josephine shared her story, the struggles of being a single mother, the joy of pursuing education, and the importance of community support. He nodded along, offering insights from his own experiences as an entrepreneur and philanthropist. At one point during their conversation, Jeff leaned forward and said something that resonated deeply with Josephine. Remember that your journey is just beginning. The impact you have on others will be far greater than you can imagine. Those words sparked something within her, a fire to continue pushing forward not just for herself, but for everyone who might benefit from her journey. Inspired by their conversation and fueled by Jeff's encouragement, Josephine decided to launch a community initiative aimed at helping single parents pursue education while balancing their responsibilities at home. She called it Pathways to Promise, creating workshops and support groups where parents could share resources and find encouragement. With the help of local businesses and volunteers from the diner community, Josephine organized events that provided childcare during study sessions and shared information about scholarships available for adult learners. The initiative quickly gained traction as more people joined in, each sharing their stories of struggle and triumph. Isn't it amazing how one person's kindness can inspire a movement? Sometimes it takes just one spark to ignite change within an entire community. As Josephine continued to balance work, motherhood, and her new initiative, she felt a sense of fulfillment that came from knowing she was making a difference. Her children watched their mother transform before their eyes, From a weary waitress struggling to make ends meet to an empowered woman chasing her dreams while uplifting others along the way. With each passing day, Josephine grew more confident in herself and more determined than ever to achieve her goals. She knew there would be challenges ahead. Balancing everything was no easy feat, but she was ready for whatever came next. What are your dreams? What steps can you take today to move closer to them? Remember that every small action counts towards building the life you envision. Josephine's journey is not just about overcoming obstacles. It's about recognizing the power of kindness and community support. It's about understanding that our struggles can lead us to make profound changes, not just in our own lives, but in the lives of those around us. As we wrap up this chapter of Josephine's story, let's carry forward the message that kindness matters. Every act counts. Whether big or small, we all have the power to make a difference in someone else's life. Thank you for joining us on this inspiring journey. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more tales of resilience and hope, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let's continue spreading positivity together.